So I might be slightly late in making this video, but the reason I'm making this video is because it's kind of struck a chord with me. And I know that, yes, it should have done before, but it's only now, and blah blah blah. So in America, another teenager has taken their life because of homophobic bullying, and there is an absolutely fabulous woman online called Ester, and what is now yesterday, she posted this story along with the "It Gets Better" video that he left before he killed himself. And it does absolutely break your heart, because, you know, he's done this video and, you know, he's saying it gets better, but then he couldn't, you know, deal with it, because every person has a limit, and it's disgusting the fact that there's people out there who have pushed him to his limit. But this is where it struck a chord for me, because I came out when I was in high school, and okay, compared to some other people, it's the bullying that I got, it was minor. You know, I was never involved in, you know, fights. For me, it was verbal bullying, and, you know, the little comments that people got in there. And at the time, you know, I didn't know how to deal with it. I'd only just come to terms with who I actually was. So, you know, it took a while for me to go, you know what, this is who I am. Screw you. If you've got a problem with it, you're the one who's got a problem with it. You deal with it. It took a while for me to actually go ahead and say that. The It Gets Better project is an amazing thing, you know, because it's giving hope to people, not even age specific, but it's just saying, you know, if you have come out, or you're ready to come out, or you've not even come out, but you're getting homophobic bullying, it does get better. And that's the main message, and it's a great message, don't get me wrong. But as we're seeing, and as is kind of being proven, it's not enough. It's not enough. And Esther posted, you know, these links, and, you know, a lot of people were commenting, you know, all these different things, but the main thing was, this is really sad, it shouldn't have happened. And I commented and said about the bullying that I went through, and then, you know, someone else commented, and they said, you know, these kids that are doing the bullying in school, they learn it from home. And yeah, in some cases, yes, that is true. But my main thing, like, playing devil's advocate here, is it doesn't matter where the kids are learning it from. It's got to stop. But how do you stop it? Because one of the things that has been suggested where I live is that, you know, if you go out there into high schools, or what do we call it, senior schools, or whatever you call it, when these kids are like 14 and 15 and starting to learn, you know, that they should know better, teach them about homosexuality and the gay lifestyle. And part of me thinks, okay, yeah, that would be a good idea. But you've got to remember here that in most schools, they teach about all different religions. Yet we still produce kids from schools that hate people because of whatever religion they've chosen. So, is teaching about homosexuality actually going to do any good? You know, what would be the point in it if people are still going to hate people because of their sexuality? And then I went on to comment and say that the main thing for me, what I could have done with, is for someone to turn round and say, you know what, I'm there for you. That's what I could have done with. And, you know, yes, you get the people out of school who say, you know, if you've got a problem, you know, go and tell a teacher, talk to me about it, and all this sort of stuff. But you actually need a person inside the school, inside where the bullying is taking place, to go, I will be there for you. I will help you fight your corner. You know, whatever you have to go through, you won't go through it alone. That's what I needed. And I'm not saying that, you know, we have to have an adult in school for every single child. But it only takes one teacher to turn round and say, you know what, I will be there for you. For me, personally, I sort of got that when I was there. And it did help. It did help. For me, it was the head teacher of my high school. And for those of you who don't know what a head teacher is, it's like the boss of the school, basically. And he turned round to me, and he's an incredible man. I still remember his face, Mr. Bruce. He was really great. And he turned round, he got me in his office one day and turned round and said, you know what, you know, I've had staff, teachers coming up to me and saying, you know what, I've seen this is happening and something needs to be done about it. And he turned round to me and said, if you've ever got a problem, you come and see me. And at the time, I didn't know how to react. I was like, okay, thank you. Went back off to my lessons. And then I remember it was one day, and I was walking to one of my lessons from having been in another one, and you have to walk down this big corridor. And as I was walking down, this kid on the other side of the corridor turned round and spat at me. And this is the same kid who had been coming out with homophobic remarks for ages. For absolutely ages. I knew who he was. And I got into lesson, and all of the kids in there are turning around and they're going, are you okay? You know, you've got spit on your back. I was like, yeah, I'm okay. The teacher took my blazer off me and, you know, went and washed it and gave it back to me. And then the teacher turned around and went, are you okay? And I just went, no. You know, can I go and sort this out? So I went out straight down to the head teacher's office. Didn't even think anything of it. You know, I wasn't nervous at that point. And luckily he was in there, and I was able to go in and tell him what happened, and he was absolutely disgusted. The next thing I know is he came and got me about an hour later and got me out of the lesson which I was in at the time, and, you know, just on the corridor, just turned around to me and said, what you said to me before? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, he's been suspended from school. We don't accept that sort of behaviour here. So, any more problems, come and see me, but he's out. And that was amazing for me. That was absolutely amazing, because it was one person saying, I'll be there for you. But, you know, I couldn't go to him about every single problem that I had, every single little remark that came out. I couldn't go to him about that because I'd have been there all day. You know, the amount of little remarks that you get, the amount of stupid things that happen, but it's bullying, and it's those little things that mount up and is obviously resulting in people taking their own lives. And it's got to stop. It's really, really got to stop. So below in the description box I will put a link to this kid's It Gets Better video, because it's still quite sweet if you watch it. I will put a link to Esther Goldberg, because she's here on YouTube. She is on Twitter, and she's also on Facebook. So, you know, follow her, subscribe to her, add her as a friend. Esther's fabulous. I love Esther to bits. And, you know, if you have any ideas as to what you think could stop this bullying, then by all means comment it below, because I would be really interested, as with other people. I would be interested to know what you've got to say about it. So thank you for watching, and see you soon.